What causes depression and what to do about it? This is my personal take, my own experiences. Obviously, I'm not a professional doctor, my friend, but I've definitely been in the trenches. I got to tell you a story. Okay, I got to tell you a story. If you can relate, let me know. We're going posting videos on this channel every single day about ways to make your life as best as possible in every aspect. So make sure you're subscribed if that's what you want to do. Okay, let's go back about a year and a half. I had just started making money online finally for the first time, enough to where I was actually full time, and it had been 6 years in the making. And at this time, I was dating this girl, my fiance at the time, for 3.5 years. Things weren't going well between the two of us. They weren't going well. I was home all the time. I had gained a lot of weight since COVID. I was way overweight. I was like 220, just round, soft, fat. Okay, I just not in a good place, really. And not really realizing I wasn't, because at the time I was like, yeah, dude, I'm freaking making it. I got my business going. I'm full time. I'm figuring shit out. I get to play video games most of the day. Thought I was living it. Plus, I had this wonderful girl that I thought at the time. And well, she breaks up with me, right? Mainly because I'm a fat slob. I really think, honestly, that's what it is. We grew out of it. I still had big dreams. And she didn't. She comes home one day, and she went out with an old friend from high school, which I didn't care about. Of course, he's a guy. And I'm like, it's always been like one of those, as a guy, I'm like, sure, I'm not going to tell you what you can and can't do, blah, blah, blah. But it was the way she did it that made me upset. It's like, hey, I'm going to go do X, Y, and Z. And I'm like, okay, cool. But there was no invitation for me to come, right? But also she knows that I just think the dude's around until he gets his free spot, right? Which is exactly what happened. So, but anyway, she comes home later that night, and I was like, you know what, we got to talk, because like lately, it's like as me, I was like, hey, dude, I don't really feel appreciated. I don't feel like we're working together. I'm trying to do anything I can, right? Talking to her, and I'm like, oh, hey, I'll clean up the house a little bit better, blah blah blah. Thinking that doing extra service would be what I needed to do. And anyways, it wasn't. When I said this, she goes, well, this isn't working. I was like, okay, well, let's make it work, right? For me, I'm thinking we're coming to an agreement. And that's when she was like, no, we need to break up. It's time to break up. And I'm like, I wasn't mentally ready for it. And I was like, oh, no, no, we gotta fix this. Like, we can fix this. You're my woman. You're gonna be the woman that I'm with forever. That was what I had in mind when I asked you, like, the rest of our lives, we will die together. And it wasn't until a few weeks later, during 4th of July, 2 a.m., 3 a.m., phone vibrates in the bed, thinking it's mine. I look at it, and it's a text from Mark. I don't know Mark. Well, this is the first time in my life that I read someone else's text messages. Don't recommend it. Turned my stomach. The more I read, the worse it got. These two had been talking for months, and not friends. Okay. We got some sexting going on inside these text messages. And as I read, my stomach turned even more. And I had been working in my mind hard for to make things back to where they were, right? To where things are just this natural exchange and we have a good time. Well, woke her up, and I'm like, who's Mark? She's like, oh, Mark's a friend. I was like, don't be stupid. You can't, no, no, like, don't be dumb. You can't pull the he's a friend card anymore. All right. You can't pull that. And this is not the same friend, by the way. Anyways, that same morning, the next morning, so I left and I went and stayed with my brother's house. I left the apartment, went and stayed at my brother's house. The next morning I came in, and I realized it was gone. Like, I had been working for months and weeks on trying to make things better. And um granted, I was a fat slob too. It's not like I was an ideal candidate to be with anymore either. But there was no effort on her side, obviously. So you can't carry cash by yourself a lot of the time. So I left. I dropped my end. I went over there. I put everything in garbage bags, and I left within like 2.5 hours. I left. I was gone, and that was it. That was the end of it. But to get to what our topic is today, fast forward. 3.5 months. I'm in this room, and I'm sitting on the couch. I'm playing video games at the time, and uh, man, I started having these stupid thoughts I've never had in my life before. I was like, hey, how could I be gone but not leave a mess for everybody else to pick up? How can I tidy up my life to where if I'm gone, it's not a hassle for everybody else? So I'm over here like planning my future. I mean, planning my funeral. I've planned my funeral before, but not this way. Not like, hey, if I put a gun in my mouth, there's going to be splatter all over the wall. So I can't clean that up after I'm gone. So how can I put down a mat? Should I put down some plastic? Should I go Dexter in here so people don't have to clean it up? And if you ever had these type of thoughts, my friend, please reach out and talk to somebody, because if it wasn't for the amount of personal development that I've done, how deep I got into this hole was hard, man. Ooh, it's hard. Okay. It's a real deal. And up until that point, I'm like, yo, there's so much life out there. Anybody that talked about suicide, I had friends that have done that in the past, right? Or have thought about it, written me notes, even when I was going through school. And I'm just like, in my brain at the time, like, how can you get to this point? And and over time, and going through these 67 steps, and today, 67 steps with Ty Lopez is what we're listening to. He talks a lot. He doesn't specifically talk about depression in today's lesson. But he talks about how we separate our lives. We compartmentalize everything we do, right? So work is, you got to leave the house. It's work's over here, family's right here, working out's over here, food's right here. We try to separate everything. And life can't be just separated, right? If your life is a 10, so say it's a 10, right? And you're living the 10 life, you have wealth, you have wealth, so you have your finances, you have health, which is your body, you have love, which is your friends and family, um and that circle, right? um and then you have happiness, how you feel, right? So you have those four pillars, as he calls it, and they have to integrate together. Okay, if you're missing one of these, they all fall apart. And you have to integrate life, and the more as we grow up, everything is separated. So friends are here, family's there. Like, there's specific times we like to separate things for some reason. In a modern world, one of the biggest ones, that is easy to see that we do this with, is work. So people, their work and their happiness, right? A lot of people are looking forward to Friday. They're looking forward to the weekend for those 3 days that they get back, and then they hate Monday. So they're willing to spend most of their week, the majority of the week, doing something they hate. Okay. Most days, 5 days a week, 6 days a week. Okay. Working and doing something they would rather not do. So they have 1 to 2 or 3 days every single week that they get to do what they want. So mathematically, you are literally giving up your time, your resources to do somebody else's duty, right? If you're working a job, you're actually helping someone else produce income and create wealth, when you could do that for yourself. If you show up every day, you work when no one watches you, and you get the job done the way it's supposed to be done, you're one of the few people that can run your own business if you develop the proper skills, because most people cannot work without someone over their shoulder, right? But if you are working the majority of your life to be excited about 2 vacation days or 2 vacation weeks a year, then you have already lost, because that means the rest of the year, 50 weeks out of the entire year, you're working and doing shit you don't want to do. So you can have 2 weeks out of the year to do what you want to do. So the integrative life is a more kind of, well, exactly kind of like what I'm living now, right? Is my integrated life is like, I basically play golf every day and I use my phone to videotape it so I can make content to post online. So I can get paid for the content that I'm doing, but I'm also doing what I want to do. This is why I always yell at people, and I'm like, yo, you can get paid to do whatever hobby you are. The only reason you're not getting paid to do the thing you like to do is because you don't have enough people watching you do it. That's the only reason. So if you have enough people watching you do something, you can get paid for literally anything that you want. So the integrated life is, how can I do the thing I want to do and also get paid to do it, but also have a physical aspect in it? Because one of the biggest reasons why I was so down and deep is I was fat. I was out of shape. Okay. And being out of shape makes your brain go out of shape. It doesn't think as sharp. It's not as clean. It's not as crisp. It's not as strong. So all those negative thoughts and the media coming in, just boop, 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 boop. Oh, you're not good enough. Wow, let me get you with that sucker punch. Oh, there's other people, there's kids out there making $1 million. You've been trying for years. Wow, you're lazy. Wow, you're a piece of shit. Wow, wow, wow. And my brain just throwing these punches at me. And since my brain isn't strong enough to be like, look, you're doing everything you can. Okay. If you're not where you need to be, there's something that you don't know. So keep learning, keep implementing, and your time will eventually come, just like anything else in life. Okay. Anything else I've ever succeeded at in life, I did it small portions at a time, failed along the way. But I'm one of the few people that I've known that will get punched in the face until I get the win. I'm willing to go through the shit. I'm willing to do all the hard shit and risks in order to live the life I desire, because I know the opposite side is to live a miserable life for somebody else. Those are the only two options we have in this world. And I choose the latter. I choose to live a full life. I want a better integrated life. And I'm sure you do too. You're listening to this, you made it this far. Make sure you leave a like down there below, because you've made it this far, and I got way more coming so we can reach more people with this message. But it's integrating your life. Okay. The Amish, Ty Lopez shares a story about him going to the Amish, and the Amish kids are the happiest kids he's ever seen in his life. Well, one, with the modern day, we have way too much pleasure all the time. We have way too much pleasure all the time, right? And if we have access to, so if you guys know the test between these two rats, they had these two rats in a cage, and they could push a button that caused an orgasm. Okay, and they could push this button whenever they wanted. And one of the rats pushed the button until he died. Okay, he's like, oh shit, oh that's nice, boom, oh damn, that's nice. But he pushed the button so often that eventually it killed him. But there's a point with pleasure that if you have so much of it, it doesn't feel like you have it anymore. That's the dopamine coming from our phones, the little dings on our messaging, right? And then we have comparisonitis, where we think other people are doing better than us. And it's not you versus anybody else. It's you versus you. It's always you versus you. Are you 5 push-ups stronger from yesterday? Are you a little bit better than you were yesterday with your finances, with your mental capacity, with your physical health? Are you just an inch better? Because step by step we get ahead, right? Not necessarily in fast spurts. And then one day we'll be there and everybody's like, oh, overnight success. How did you do it? How did you do it? Okay. It takes time and effort, right? But this, us separating our lives and really the work life balance is a huge critical part to this, because you can literally make money doing anything. You can start a profitable business selling other people's things. Go to the 15-day challenge. You have the 15-day challenge for anybody who wants to start a profitable online business but doesn't know where to begin. Go to the 15days.yescolton.com, and inside, this is what the challenge is going to look like. You're going to get these 15 days from Dave Sharp, who's earned tens of millions of dollars online teaching other people how to do it. Okay. They're going to show you how you can sell other people's products, or you promote and market your own current business. Okay. This company, I made my first $10,000 online with this company in my first year. Now you can do that in a week. People do it in a month. It depends on how hard you work, but you have the blueprint, right? This is like building a house. You have all the pieces that laid out for you. You have all the instructions. You're going to get all of the tools, the hammers, the drills, everything you need to build the house. Now, the reason most people don't make it happen is because after you get all those things, you still have to go build it. And that's where most people quit, let alone get inside, right? And that's only $7 to get started for that one, which is crazy because when I first bought my business, it was over $6,000 at 22, and that was a cheap one too. That was a franchise. I bought the system. I had to hire people. I had to make out my own ads on like Craigslist, looking for people to hire, or Facebook Live, just everywhere. I was just trying, hey, I'm looking for other sales reps that want to sell, right? And that one you can start for $7. It has unlimited potential for income. I still make money with it to this day. And that's why I also promote it, because when I forget how to do things, I always go back to that training. Okay. But the 67 steps with Tai Lopez, it's your brain, your mental capacity, your personal development. This is one of the things that I had been slacking on even the last few months. It's the reason I started doing this exact series again, the 67 steps series, because personal development, if you don't have it, the negativity is ungodly consistent from everywhere else in the world. Ungodly consistent. So if you're not putting good thoughts from great people into your brain, you're going to have dumb thoughts from stupid people put into your brain. And those are the options, because Tai Lopez has put together the easiest and fastest way to learn from some of the smartest and most successful and wealthiest people in the world. And though these are the lessons they don't teach us in school. Okay. So you can get started on your own 67-step journey by going to 67steps.yescolton.com or going to the links in the description down below, because we have to understand that we need not to have as much pleasure, so that way when pleasure comes, it's better, and quit separating life. Life is all together. Okay. Doing it all together, mix it together. You should be getting paid to be doing the thing that you want to do, and that should involve some type of exercise. I know at the offices, people you can do walking chairs, you can have weights around it, you can do sit-ups throughout the day, right? Because during like movies, people like Tom from Batman, I think it's Hardy is his last name, but he worked out 5 times a day for Batman to be buff, because we know if you do it more times with less reps, you actually will get stronger. Just like farmers are freaking strong, dude. Farmers are some strong son of bitches, but that's because they're doing physical activities throughout the whole day. They're not just like, oh, hey, like people that work in an office job and they're sitting for 8 hours. They've done studies that say, hey, even if you work out 2 hours in a day, but you're sitting down for 8, they don't cancel out each other. Okay. Sitting down still aches and hurts your body in ways that we're not designed. We're designed to move. We're designed to walk around. That's how we are physically built, to move and be adventurous and things, and be around in the wild and pick up hard things and do hard things to get a result. And that's where we are most fulfilled. Because things are so easy now and you can just sit down and create a paycheck. It's like going back to the caveman days, and you could just sit around the fire and meat came to you, and you never had to go hunt it and grab it and gather the goods. And that's basically what a 9 to 5 is. You just go and sit. Or people are like, ah, yeah, I work. And if you do construction and those kind of things, those hardworking jobs like I have, you know that it ain't no easy breezy. But sometimes the construction workers are still happier people than people at an office. Okay. Because they are doing hard things. So today's question that we are going to answer down below in the comments from the module this morning is, what are 2 things you have not integrated in your life well? So this could be health, this could be wealth, or this could be love, right? Because you want to integrate your social life as well. Friends, family, romance. Okay. So what are the things that you haven't integrated? Mine up until this point was my workouts. My social life still can get better because I have not really dated anybody since, or even tried. Maybe been on 2 dates the last year and a half, because I'm like, still got wounds and nervous, right? But go ahead and put that down in the comments, what you think about that. And I will see you on the next video, because it's your boy, Colton Havens. I love you. Peace.